Hey everybody, welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Hope we're having a great day today. This train is making its mostly unpaid trip back to Winston-Salem to end its route, right? Dropping off the remainder of these bricks, construction materials, whatever. Eventually, it'll be picking them up in Syracuse over there once that production gets going. And it won't be so empty when it gets back to this station. But for now, it's a little bit empty. That's fine. Unpaid route to the steel, and then everything is back to normal on that. Winston-Salem, as you can see, has upgraded itself. And it now demands the machines. And so we're going to get into what I'd like to try to get into a pattern of something for these videos. And I am absolutely one of the worst people at sticking to a plan, even right immediately after I make it, but I will try my best to do so. I'd like every video from this point on to at least be expanding in some capacity while also optimizing something that currently exists. And if I can merge those two things together, brilliant. And that's what I'm gonna try to do in this video. We're gonna try to expand into new production chains and expand into new lines, but also optimize the ones we currently have in the process. And I think I have a nice hybrid way of sort of doing that because there are lots of opportunities to improve the existing things that are already set up. So follow me on a journey is what I'm saying. All right, Winston-Salem is on the verge of upgrading itself apparently, because it has now downgraded itself again. We're going to count on this upgrading. We're going to definitely count on this thing being upgraded into the future here. So, because I know Winston-Salem is going to be a very busy place in the future, I know that this station is going to be a very big deal in the future. I'm going to take steps to ensure that the AI does not invade my space, let's say, because these streets, they will invade it. So I'm going to add a whole bunch of cargo buildings here right now. Now, I know that's not needed now, but it will be eventually. And most importantly for me anyway, it allows me to reserve this space for more cargo buildings without having to demolish their buildings as they proceed this way, okay? Because I don't want them to proceed this way and do that. Secondly, I'm going to take this street and I'm going to go right to here. There we go. And thirdly, I'm actually just going to make this look a little bit better by making this road, the big boy road, like this. There we go. And now it just, I don't know, for me it just looks a little bit better. Maybe it looks a little weird to you. I think it looks a little bit better just like this, okay? So we've got that out. Now I'm also gonna allow them to expand this way if they'd like. However, I don't want them to expand into this way and have me, you know, having to delete them that way. So I'm also gonna reserve the tracks and stuff in this station that we'll eventually want. We're going to want additional cargo stations. That's going to be necessary. So we're going to do that. Tracks. It's right here. I almost did it again. I also want a pass-through track as well. I want a track that they can go through if they don't intend to stop at all. And that's what this one right here is going to be, okay? Now, I'll probably expand more this way, but I think this kind of just at least reserves some of the space I'm looking for, right? And then this, of course, will eventually cross this direction. And probably could have it just, I don't know, we could probably, for now, I think I'm just going to maybe go like that with it. And then you could follow along with that too, right? Yeah, for now, I think that's fair. I think it eventually should probably find its way to curving to be alongside this, like that, you know? So eventually, and then I guess the pass-through train should do the same, although if you're passing through to bypass the train that's in this station, then you probably want to merge onto that. Yeah, we'll look at it later. It's not important. So anyway, I'm just kind of reserving space at the moment, right? So there we go. I got the space reserved here so they don't put any vehicles here and all that. There's, of course, other ways to reserve that space. I could just simply make this a dirt road because they don't expand on dirt roads. But I would like them to expand industry around the train station. I think that would look really cool. So if they do that, I will be happy about that. Okay, here's what I'd like to do. We know Winston-Salem is going to want machines. They just briefly wanted it there. So because there's a demand for machines here, or at least there's about to be, I'd like to implement the end of the end game of the plan for the route that I have that's going through here, which you may remember is called Steel and Saw. Now, why in the world would it be called Steel and Saw? Nothing about this route screams saw to you, does it? It's just iron and coal going to a steel mill. There's nothing about a saw there. Well, that's because the route's not finished. You see, there wasn't any real reason to use this yet, so I was holding off on it, but now it's time to complete this route. And that means incorporating this forest, this sawmill to here, and delivering it to there. And being able to do this while getting paid for most of what we're doing, okay? I'd like to get paid for most of what we're doing. So I'm going to take my dirt road, and this is probably gonna be expensive. Take my dirt road. I'm gonna go about like, actually, I can save a little bit of money if we go this way. Just a little bit closer to that road. We can save a little bit of money from laterally this direction. Although honestly, I really don't think it's gonna be a big deal because I actually have to cut this way anyway. Because I wanted to meet up with that corner, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everyone can see. We'll go like that. It's fine. All right, and then I'm gonna use this road to cut across the terrain this way. Certainly not going to do that. We'll go short increments again because it's way cheaper to do that. Let the cars go over the hills. They can handle it. All right, they're not like trains. They can handle it. There we go. And one more. Kind of like, you know what? That'll do. Okay. I'm pretty sure I got almost everything done here. There is one more road I'd like to do, actually, and that is this one right here. So let me just get this done, and you'll see why in a second. We're gonna take this way, about like that, and you might already see what I'm doing to make this more efficient, but if you don't worry, it'll blow your mind. Probably not. Go through here. There we go. Oh, this hill, though. I don't really want to go through this hill. At this point, I feel like it would cost me... No, it's definitely gonna be cheaper to not go through that hill. Get your refund, and then go around this hill. Yeah, absolutely, go around this hill. Just a little bit. Yeah, done. Took a little bit of time to actually build that, didn't it? There we go, and down a little bit more like that. There we go, and it's not as direct of a route as it was gonna be before, but it goes right up against this machine parts factory, which is exactly what I want. This machine shop. Okay, this is the Winston-Salem Machines Factory. Check. We want this one to be called Glendale Sawmill, Glendale Forest. Perfect. Okay, everything is in place now. Precisely the way I envisioned it when I initially made my iron roots and named them steel and saw. So here's how I want this to play out. We are going to add a truck station over here. And it's going to be about like that. Now, I would like to also make... I wish this road was actually here. And... there's really not a good reason why it can't be, right? So, I mean, other than just money, that's the only reason why, which is not a good reason. So here you go. We will do this because I have the money there. Now this route could be even better than it was before. Okay. And I get no benefit from destroying this road, so there's no reason to do that. All right, here's what I want to do. Let's get the truck stops sorted out first and foremost. So we're going to take one of these truck stops, and I'm going to bring that kind of in the middle here. No, I'm going to bring it. Yeah, this is probably fine. Sure, there. Like that. That works for me. And then it comes all the way over, and I'm going to put this kind of in the middle as long as it's not too expensive. 50,000. How about over here? Is this better? That's more expensive. I'd like it to be maybe here then. Although that interfered. No, put it on the corner. Screw it. I don't care if it's more expensive. Put it on the corner. And this is going to be a 2-platformer, actually. We'll go right about like that. I think that's okay. It's possible that we will need one. Let's do 2 more cargo areas on that side. And then the final thing to get to set this up so I can show you. You probably already see what I'm doing, but you know, in case you don't, here you go. Right about, let's say here. Cool. So that takes care of everything, I think. I think. Here's how I want to play this. The iron loop here which is coming in with the steel and saw. Okay. This is the coal one because it's black. We need some of these vehicles to move, okay? What I'd like to have happen here is I would like the steel and saw route, just use the eyeball and just zoom right in on it. That's like my go-to way of finding my routes right now. I love this little eyeball. Steel and saw. So got all these vehicles and they are all unpaid for half the journey, right? They're only getting paid for here to here. That sucks. We don't want that. And same thing with the coal ones. There's actually too many of them, I think. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take, like, say, 3 of these guys. Yeah. Let's take... Actually, we kind of want to adjust this with the iron. The iron route is fine. It's the coal route that I want to... No, the iron route is not fine. The iron route is actually bringing iron and coal. Yeah. So... The iron route is, so the coal route is not necessary. So we're not as necessary. So we're going to limit this to 4 vehicles and move you to the iron route. Okay, we have 2 routes, as you can see. Right now, coal, just goes from here to here. And while that's not such a big deal to have routes that go from here to here, that's not such a big deal. It's a short route and still half of it is unpaid, okay? We're going to change that significantly. Glendale East is where we currently get our coal from. And that's, again, not bad, but I think it could be better. So for now, we're going to get coal from Glendale East. Then we're going to load up with Glendale Steel. We're going to drop it off at Glendale Steel here, okay? Then we're going to hop over here. We're going to grab some wood. We're going to take it up to the sawmill, okay? Then we're going to pick up the planks and take it up to here, to Winston-Salem North. Then we're gonna round over, grab coal from here, and take it back to the steel. And then you can just take coal again and start your route. Okay? I'm gonna let you do both, but eventually we may not do that. I also don't like this loop, so there is actually one more step to take because I don't like this loop, and that is from right here. I'm gonna just bring this road in short increments. I'm gonna bring this road over here to cut this travel time down, I think, pretty significantly here. Let's just, there we go. And like this, and dip it. There we go. In case you're wondering how I'm doing that, it's the M and N keys. You can raise the middle with M and lower the middle with N. And so sometimes if I'm noticing that the route is cutting into the terrain in the middle, I might hit M to raise it, and etc. So I can kind of manipulate it like that. All right, so I'll tell you what, why don't we even make this even more short, even though it looks a little bit ridiculous. We'll just go kind of like that. Okay, that should make this route a little bit shorter here instead of having to go all the way around. I like that better. So that's the new coal loop, okay? And these cars are like kind of already getting in on it, and we can see the wood is already starting to pile up here, which looks pretty good. I am going to real quick add a cargo spot on this side as well. Although I have no idea if they'll actually use, we'll find out, okay? So that's the coal route, and they're gonna start using that already. So they do pick up coal from here. They're gonna come down here from here. They're gonna pick up coal and this coal here, and it gets delivered. And then they go grab this one again, they deliver it, and they go around. So there's still a lot of activity on this road. Because of that, I'm going to upgrade this street to a 2-laner. There's going to be a lot of vehicles making this particular leg of the journey, so I'm going to let that be a 2-lane thing. 4-lane, I guess. It's a 4-lane road. Next, steel and saw, right? You can kind of see where we're going with this one, except this one's a shorter route, and it's almost all the way paid. So what we're going to do here is we take the iron, bring it down, right? Then we're unpaid to here, grab the wood, bring it up to the sawmill, and then go right back to work and get the iron, right? That's what we end up doing with that loop. And it's kind of already done, so I'm good there. Now, one thing I guess I could make sure I do here is at the exchange, which I'm gonna rename to Glendale Sawmill with 2 W's, apparently. There we go. Glendale Sawmill. I just want to make sure that you are unloading and you're not loading anything up. I don't think they'll do it, but I want them to unload the logs here, and then that is it. So we end up with essentially a kind of a figure 8 with the iron loop, right? And we could do the same thing with coal, to be honest. We could do the same thing here, and then I wouldn't have to worry about this little leg and going around like this. And I may look at that. The original plan was figure 8. So like this right here was the figure 8. But incorporating this into the route gives me, it gives me stuff that I can bring over here. So I was looking at doing that. We don't need to do that though, because quite honestly, it might actually be better because I have all these planks being delivered here, right, to the cargo station. It could actually be beneficial for me to instead have this loop right here, a road that goes this way. And then what I could do is I just simply have, or maybe just, I don't know, this is already a route here, but I could just basically have the sawmill go to here, bring these parts back to town, go get this, bring it back. Like that could be the loop too, but I'm just gonna do this for now. It doesn't cost me all that much more, and it's interesting to see whether or not I make any additional money with the whole like hauling coal from all the way over here into here. I don't know. I'd like to see what that ultimately entails, and I may need additional vehicles to do that. All right, so we'll play that out and see how it works. Now for this, okay, for this machines factory to even function, there needs to be demand for the machines. There also needs to be steel. So let's work on steel too. Steel is coming from here, of course, and we're going to just basically make a road that goes straight this way. I don't know what that sign, what did that just say? I'm gonna have to go back in the footage. I want to know what that was. Those pop-ups, they don't last long enough, and I can't like bring them up again. I don't think I can. Is there any way to? I can't bring them up anywhere, so I'll just look back at the footage. Like the benefits of recording your gameplay, I guess. Let's see. If you know a way to do that, let me know. This looks like a fairly flat spot to the road over there. In fact, that's already snapping for 65. I don't have to dip here or here, which is nice. So I think I probably keep it flat and go through here, right to the road. Very nice, and that works for me. And then we want one more of these attachment platforms to be about like this. About like, right. Is it really that far away? Yeah, it works that far away. Cool. We'll do it like this. All right, this is going to be a new line. And we're gonna call this one, let's say machine delivery route. This is the machine delivery loop. Yeah, for wins. Machine delivery loop for wins, and we can call this red, or we can make this red. The first station would be here, second would be here, and the third is going to be a drop-off point that we place in the middle of town. I don't exactly know which buildings are going to require the goods, but I feel like this little area right here would cover most industry as the game progresses. At least it will cover a significant portion of industry. So we will say right about here would be good. Right about here at the end of this. It looks like it's expanding this way with goods. Ah, there it is. So where's the tools? Right here. Okay. So I want to go about like right about here. Looks like it'll be working. Okay, and then this route's final stop then would just be here. So we get paid from here to here, get paid from here to here, and then this little leg here is unpaid. Okay, that'll be the loop that gets people gets demand here, right? So we need vehicles for that too, and of course this is the vehicles. These are vehicles that are bringing the steel. This is a 1-to-1, correct? Yes. So we are going to buy vehicles, and let's say we do for this route. Let's do 10 for now, and we'll set that up on the wins machine delivery loop. Go. So that's gonna give them steel. All right. Steel to here. We should see that come in here, and to make sure we get a good amount of steel delivered here, I'm gonna Just kind of do one of these numbers to make that adequate. So now we have steel being created for the train, and we should have some steel being created here. That means we just need to make a lot more steel, right? Which means I need a lot more vehicles on this route over here too. So real quick, we're just gonna go over. Are you kidding me, horses? I have horses here still. Okay, so we're going to replace these, obviously. And then we're going to add 4 more to that line, and then also 4 more to the, I think coal is really short, and we already have 5 vehicles on that. So I'm going to add just like 2 more there. And then hopefully that gets us to where we can have a lot more steel. Hopefully. I might bring in a train even and essentially dump iron and coal into this train area here as well. Speaking of the train area, we are going to eventually have multiple platforms in here. So why don't we go ahead and add, I think I'm going to add a cargo building here if it lets me. It doesn't. It's on this side though, so I'll take it. On that side I can, on this side I cannot. I built it too close. Well, hang on. Maybe I can get smaller ones. Okay, I can get smaller ones in here. That's okay. Actually, I can get one of these. That's 60 instead of 80. I'm all right with that. Let's get one more right there because it'll let me. All right. But this does need an additional platform as well. So we're going to say that you get cargo like this. There we go. And one more track. I almost did it again. One more track like so. So that'll give us an extra track eventually. I'm not gonna bother with it just yet, but like a lot of these train tracks and stuff are gonna start, you know, like this merge here and this pass through. Like I really do want that to just merge, but there should be 2 tracks that go all the way over. So like eventually there's gonna be 2 tracks to this whole thing. Look at them all go. I think I need a lot more. I need a lot more on this, don't I? Right now I don't see anybody. I don't see it delivering. Winston-Salem machine, there is an order. I saw it. There's an order for 2 of them to ship. Why don't I real quick delivery loop Winston-Salem annex. Let's change this to Winston-Salem steel. Okay, let's have you make sure you're full. And I'm gonna let you wait 5 minutes to fill up and make sure that you're of course loading steel. Steel, where is it? And then you're not unloading anything, although I could have you. I'm wondering about this loop, right? Like this coal loop. If I had it, and I know it's way out of here, but way out of left field kind of, but if I had it stop here, right? And then deviate to bring coal from here to here, I could then have it bring steel from here to there, and then have it, just go down and grab coal and head back that way. So, like, I could have it bring coal to both of these steel plants, is what I'm saying. I don't know if that's worth it because of the timing. Like, there's so many vehicles needed for that compared to just doing this little short thing. So I think I'm going to refrain from that. But I'm just, like, thinking about how I could make these loops happen and have things paid the entire way. That's the ticket. It's all about just getting paid the whole way. It doesn't matter if this is better than doing that. As long as it's paid the entire way, you can have more vehicles on, and I think it's kind of fine. And again, you can see the details, right? Condition. You only need to maintain your vehicles to lower emissions. That's the only reason to do it. And emissions is all about noise. So if I was to go over to West Jordan, for example, right now, and we take a look at it, we can see that West Jordan has very poor, all right? And that's because if I take a look at, like, say, the lines, there is a line that's running through here, all right? And these lines that are running through here, let me just double check. This is the, not the Winds delivery loop. This is the West Jordan brick to train, all right? So that's going through town like this, and I don't really want it to do that, so I could make it do a different route if I wanted to. And to do that, I would go to the cargo station and I had to add a place. So I'm going to go into, let's say, waypoints, and I'm going to say that I want to add here as a waypoint. Okay, that little bit right there. So by doing that, I can actually add it on the other side as well. So let's add a waypoint on the other side as well, like maybe just right over here. Like, give a little space, that's fine. And then what I can do with this route, right, brick to train, so that it doesn't go close to the car, to the houses, I can add from the cargo station, I'll make you hit this waypoint, okay? That moves you that way. And then from the exchange, which is way over there, which we should probably rename, and West Jordan Exchange is now West Jordan Brick. That's fine. We can add the other one on the other side, like this. Where'd it go? Right there. Okay, so now I'm taking that loop out of town. All right, I'm just kind of making sure that it goes away. And there are still some, these are commercial buildings, so they're not residences. That's important. But there's a residential building here, and that might be getting some of the emissions because my vehicles are not being very well maintained. So if I look at noise, right? There's just a lot of emissions going on. And all of these darker buildings, these are buildings that are negatively impacted by those emissions. And so like I have to do something about that. So these vehicles here are very loud. Well, how do you fix that? Well, you maintain your vehicles better. So if I click this vehicle, it's very bad, 84 emissions. It's very loud, right? And so this is the food delivery route. And I've got a lot of vehicles on the food delivery route, and they all come in here because they have to deliver the food. Now I could maybe put a waypoint in, maybe shift this point here to here, and then put a waypoint in that brings it around. That might help a little bit, but the other way to help is to simply maintain the vehicles better. So I could say instead of very bad condition, I could highlight them all, go into my maintenance, and I could say I want high maintenance, or I want very high maintenance. So I'll click very high maintenance, and that's going to change the costs of these cars significantly. So I don't want to do this with every vehicle, but if I do very high maintenance, then it will dramatically improve the condition of every vehicle, and it happens very fast. In fact, if I just go max speed, you'll probably see them switch to bad like any second now, and actually some of them already are. And so they get bad, and then they get to mediocre, and then they get good. And while that happens, the emissions for that vehicle will drop. So right there, it just dropped from bad to very bad, brings it down to 81, and eventually it will get down to a baseline of 77. And that helps with emissions a little bit. You can alternatively go very high on maintenance for a short time just to kind of reset its condition if you'd like to, and then switch it back. You could do that. The maintenance, all this does is raise the minimum condition that vehicle can get to. So you're raising it up to that minimum, which in this case I believe is probably going to be good. And then once it gets there, it will stay at that minimum until, of course, you lower the maintenance. So you don't have to necessarily run them all the time at this. But since this route is consistently going near town, I'm going to leave it at very high because I want to see if it really makes an impact on this very poor rating. The other thing that could be hitting them is the train, because the train is very loud. And the train sucks for emissions, although the condition of this train is very good because it's pretty new, but this can get very loud. And so you don't want the train near residential areas because this thing can be very loud, which is why I've got that way over here. Okay, so that's how I can hopefully improve the acoustics in West Jordan and maybe promote a little bit more growth by doing so. Now, I've been saying I want to expand, right, but also improve the efficiency of things, okay? That's what I've been saying. So you can see Stone and Food. We've got lots of food delivered here. Stone and Food is going to be bringing all sorts of things. I think we could add, at this point, another ship to this line. One additional ship to this line. So we'll bring that in. We have additional ship that can send the food out, and that's going to be great. Another thing I'd like to do in my expansion plans is I'd like to make this port even more awesome. So we are going to go into this cargo building. I'm going to make one here, and then I'm going to do another one right here. Then I'm going to grab this large dock, and I'm going to stick it right there, like that. Now, this is the end of the line, right? There's no additional over here. So at least for now there isn't. And so it's not a big deal to have this thing sticking way out because there's no ships that are going to be passing by this. I'm going to go to the landing, and now I can make not one, but 2 separate landing docks. I know, your mind is blown on this. And then that's additional landings that we can now use for big ships. Yes, big ships. Let's talk about those a little bit. We're going to bypass this for now. I think this is a little bit... like, we could do big ships in here, but there's not a lot of room, and I would just need to kind of maybe bank this in just a little bit more to do that. Why is this still operating? Didn't I already change these guys out? I pointed this out. I could have swore I... Oh my god. I pointed this out. I could have swore I changed these guys. That was always the plan, is to change these guys. I could have swore I did this. I feel like a schmuck. Hang on. How did I not... Yeah, tools land loop. You guys are supposed to be on the tools land loop. It's the same color. It's the same color, and that's why I got messed up. Jeez. Tools land loop, go. This thing doesn't need to exist anymore. Goodbye. It won't die. All right, so this is purely an oil play now, okay? There's nothing else here, just purely oil. That's a lot of vehicles on that loop. All sorts of vehicles on that loop. Might even be too many vehicles on that loop, but we're gonna be able to get a lot of wood picked up now. So off you go. Lots and lots of tools to be produced. Yes, yes indeed, lots and lots of tools to be produced. In fact, we are producing too many. So I think some of the vehicles on this tools land loop, some of these guys, let's say this many, are going to switch over to San Antonio goods and tools loop. That way we can get some of these tools out of here because there are too many and it's overflowing, and I definitely don't want to waste the supply. So let's get a big building over here to help out with that too. All right, there we go. I fixed that atrocity. Anyway, one other thing I want to help efficiency with, right, is getting bigger boats. And so we have this building here. I'm going to reconfigure. I'm going to place, let's do... I don't want the dock sticking out really far. So to prevent that from happening, I'm going to add 2 additional buildings, which is just helping with storage anyway. It's not a waste. And then the large dock will then go like this. There we go. And then we can make the landing be like that instead of being sticking way out. And so now there's a place where a boat could dock here. And that's not a complete waste of this space, because if I want additional small boats, I can always go in and add the dock here like so. And then I can have a landing there or there. They can, you know, pull themselves in laterally like that. So that's a possibility as well with the small boats. So that one's good. Come on over here to Glendale, which is a very active port because this is where all the steel's coming in. And we're gonna do the same thing with Glendale. We're gonna say that we want to do this and this. Although this is a pretty big river, I think it's probably okay to make a big dock that sticks out like this. I don't know. Yeah, we could do it here too, just like a little bit of extra room sort of thing. You know, I mean, technically I could get away with doing, I think you can get away with, yeah, we can't do, I don't want to do that. So I think I'm going to maybe stick it out like this. I think that's probably okay. And the boats are already way out here. They can just, you know, come in like that. Not that much extra time. Because this is a much wider part of the river than that is over there. And then, again, we will make the landings. We want a big landing here and here. Okay. Excellent. And then the final one to upgrade, of course, the big one we have to upgrade is definitely Riverside. Now, Riverside is the end of the line on this side, so we are going to add the large dock over here like so. And then we can add the landing here and here. All right, that takes care of big docks for what we want. Now, let's add another line going through here. We're going to call this the River Loop, but I'm going to change the name. All right, this is going to be now the Big River Loop. I know, it's shockingly creative. A big river loop. And we're going to start, of course, here. And that will be at port... excuse me. Did I not do the landings? Thought for sure I did the landings. Yeah, I did the landings. Does this not count? I'm confused. Did I do small landings or what? Big landings. I think I did. I must have done small landings. Right? Riverside Port. Am I not permitted to... That can't be right. There should be 2 extra stations here right now. I made 2 landings. Oh! No! Did I do passengers? Son of a gun! I hate this. I hate you! I hate you, game! Video game. Large dock. Cargo. God. Jeez. I like to waste money. I did. This is what a cargo dock looks like. The other one that looks pleasant, that's the passenger one. Okay. Oh, did I didn't do the same thing over here, did I? Nope, that's cargo. Oh man, how many hundreds of thousands did I waste? That's cargo. Very good. Okay, and the last one, survey says cargo. Okay, I didn't completely screw everything up. Just threw a little bit there. All right, and then those are landings. So now one quick trip down it, and there we go. They have the selection. So we will go in with Terminal 3 for this one. That's the big one. Okay. And then we will add a station all the way down here, just like the other loop, except this time we are going to be on number 1, let's say. There we go. Okay. We're going to park ourselves right in there on that one. I think that looks swell. Then we're going to come all the way over. We're going to skip by the oil. You'll see why in a second. We're going to start right here. Why we're ignoring oil in a second is what you're going to see. And then we will say that you are on number 2. There we go. And we then whip around over to here, to this side, and we are going to be on, let's say, side 3. Why not? Okay. I think that works for what I want. Okay. So, Riverside, we're going to full load, and I think you should just wait as long as you need to, honestly, until you fill up. It's fine. At Riverside, we're going to allow you to load a few things, okay? Because this is going to be a big boat. So, I want load grain, that's fine, but also load plastic. In fact, I think I'm going to make you do a 50-50 route here. We're going to say that you load grain and plastic, because you're a big boat. Then you're going to take that stuff all the way over to here. Okay? West Jordan Port. West Jordan Port starts to get interesting because, like I said, we're expanding, but also improving the efficiency of existing routes at the same time, right? So, West Jordan Port. We're going to load to a full. Give you a maximum of, like, say, 6 minutes. It's fine. We are going to unload the plastic and the grain. Then we're going to load 50% of resources of either goods or food or construction materials. And I need to see exactly where I want to go with this, but I think I want goods because it goes to San Antonio. But the thing is, I think when Glendale gets bigger, it's probably going to want the goods too. But for now, I mean, I guess I could just load at Riverside, and we could just send food back to Riverside. That would be one way to do it, because there's a lot of food being made here. So we could handle food back to Riverside. That would be a big deal. And so maybe that's the better call here. So why don't we instead say that you're not going to load goods, and instead you load 50% food, 50% construction mats. Okay? this is what I want to do with this route. I wanted to do goods too, and I'm kind of debating on it, and I might just, it's based on whatever's available, right? So that's the kind of thing where if it's like something else is available, then do this. But I think for now, we're going to say construction mats and food. And then the San Antonio port, because we're not loading goods, we could load instead the, we're going to unload the construction mats, okay? And we can then load the machine parts from there too, and then bring those to Glendale. But I think maybe, see, I'm kind of messing with myself because I want 2 different things. And I wish this boat had 3 compartments, but it doesn't have 3 compartments. So I think for this particular run for now, we're not going to stop in San Antonio. I know I upgraded the port there. We're definitely going to get a boat that does that. But for now, this route is going to bypass San Antonio and Tyler, just keep right on going all the way over to Glendale, where it will get rid of its construction mats and pick up steel, right? Then it will come on over and it will deliver everything at the Riverside port. It will drop off food and it will drop off the steel, okay? So that's going to be what these big boats do for now. What do the big boats look like? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's examine it, shall we? Get another boat on final goods, because I think the final goods route does need a little bit more love. We're going to use the Klondike for this one here. It's a relatively newer ship, you know, just before the turn of the century there, 1898. It loads everything except liquid. It doesn't load fuel, oil, you know, all that stuff. So that's why we're skipping the oil, because this has 110 capacity and it has the highest top speed of every boat that's here so far at 19 miles per hour. No other boat that's available to us is able to go that fast right now. So big cargo, much faster, seems good, man. It just doesn't do the oil, but it does everything else we want it to do. So we're gonna buy, I think, 2 of these. And we're gonna send the first one on the big river loop right now so I can see what it looks like. And then we'll get that spaced out. But now that there's a bigger boat able to send things, I don't wanna see this anymore, right? 763 food waiting on the river loop. I don't wanna see that anymore. And I don't have to see it anymore if I was to switch the river loop to using the big docks, which is why all the big docks I added that involve food anyway have multiple docks here, because I will eventually now be changing this river loop to basically be going from Riverside to West Jordan and not stopping in the middle anymore. They're just going to be doing big shipments, and then the little boats will handle the little ones that are like this in-between area. So the little boats will be handling, you know, basically these little micro stops, but they don't necessarily handle everything else. And the reason for that, of course, is because we're going to be soon making machinery here, and I want to be able to ship that over to, like, say, Glendale, for example. Well, can't do that very well on the route that I currently had, so I'll be modifying it to where these parts and maybe goods can also go to Glendale, and then things from Glendale, like steel, might be able to get shipped somewhere to create additional goods, potentially even over here, which might be interesting. Both of these guys, Lafayette and Denton, they both want machines. We haven't really been doing much with these and providing anything really for them. And so I'd like to also end this video by sharing a little bit of love with some of the people that are down on this side of the river. Before we do that, I did say that I was going to improve the efficiency of an existing system while expanding this. So what is that? Well, you might notice, or you might remember, the big river loop on this line is going to be picking up construction materials after it drops off. Did I do this right? No, this Riverside port. It's West Jordan right here. It's going to be picking up construction mats. That means construction mats have to be here. What are we going to do for that? Simple, my dear Watson. It's elementary, I say. We're going to adjust the line from port to brick, and we're going to adjust the port to brick line so that when it goes to the brick area, it is going to not just unload stone, but it's now going to pick up brick and bring it back to the port so that in the West Jordan port, we can drop off the brick. That is going to allow us to get the brick, to get the stone, all these vehicles that are bringing stone to here now have a purpose to come on back. And what the hell is this? What the hell is this? What are you doing? Wait, are you being... No, is Brick to Train being told to wait forever? No. Oh, this is a catastrophe because this road is used by multiple... I did say I was going to fix things, didn't I? Well, this would be something to fix, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. This would definitely be something to fix. I'd like to give you an alternative route. I'd really like to give you an alternative route, but I worry you won't do it. So tell you what we'll do then. We'll just say load if available for now. And, you know, again, at this brick place, you're loading brick. And I don't think you're unloading any stone for now. So you're just going to do that. All right. Can you just move along? And then also, I'm trying to... Is it because of one? Yeah, it's this one car. Okay, this one vehicle was waiting to get in there, and it was stopping the entire bread line. No wonder. Okay, so I can fix this. I want to say quite plainly, I can fix this quite easily, I suppose, by just taking the road, which, again, that road, that was awful. But just taking the road and extending it to be even longer so that if there's ever a backup like that for some reason or another, like these guys, there's so much road here that they're already clearly out of the way, okay? So I want that to be what happens. And then, of course, this is the bread delivery loop, and that goes through here anyway, which is very strange. That should never happen. So we want to now alter this line to use a waypoint and make sure that they hit that. And so when you're going to the West Jordan branch from Valley Street, I want to make sure that you're also hitting that, and so that you will now do that. And then on the way back from the branch, you also hit, let's say, this waypoint here. I want to keep this should be for brick. That's the whole point behind that road. But clearly that didn't happen the way I intended it to happen. And then we're gonna go from the branch, and then you hit the West Jordan transfer, which is there. So on your way to there, you will hit that one, and that will keep you on this loop forever, which is what I want. Now we can go back to Brick to Train and make sure that you are waiting until you are full for a maximum of 6 minutes. That is fine for you to do now, because I don't need any of you guys going to the train if there's nothing to bring there. So there you go, okay? Ah, goodness. And then, of course, the other side is being used by the stone delivery people, and so that they shouldn't, in theory, get in the way, but just in case they do for some reason, we will add let's say a secondary street access, let's say over here. There's no reason for them to use that, but if they get stuck, then they can. The people who are bringing stone, I want you to have a dedicated entrance here, just in case as well. And then actually what I should do is provide, well, this is probably pointless, but I'm going to do it anyway. I want to provide a dedicated exit too. So let's say an exit for you that direction, and then we can just go in and make your street, let's say like this. No, that's not it. That's not it at all. Right here, like that. Okay. I know it looks silly, but I'm just trying to keep the peace here. So anyway, stone goes this way, and now they bring back brick back, monetized in both directions, okay? Beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I hope you guys do too. Again, I want to end the video by getting some love for Gilbert. So I just wanted to show you that I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to do it off camera because I don't have time in this video. It's just too long. But here's the love for Gilbert. I'm going to take a road and bring it to the forest, okay? And then we're going to have forest to sawmill, sawmill to tools, tools down to Gilbert. And then this little bit here is unpaid. we're also going to have forest to sawmill here. And I'll extend these roads to make them straighter so that there's only a little short stit here. But that's it. So this one will be paid only half the way, but it's a short route. And then this one over here will get paid basically everything except for this little bit here. So it would be paid, all the way down paid. And we'll be able to provide tools for Gilbert now. And as we expand this, we'll obviously be using a train eventually, box cars. We'll be gathering goods from up here as well as the tools and bringing them into Gilbert and then all the way over to Irvine potentially if we can get food going, which will probably be in Denton because Denton has this food processing plant here. And so I kind of want to get like a train that would send grain up to here, you know, and then pick up coal and bring it back to steel. Right, and then off it goes to, you know, do something else. Maybe we bring it has to be a gondola, so I don't know what it's gonna do. It'll pick up iron and coal actually, right here. Train, so grain, then iron and coal. Then we take the iron and coal all the way over to this steel plant. I don't know. We'll just go all the way over here to this steel plant, and then we'll bring this iron and coal, and then we'll bring that iron and coal all the way over to this steel plant, and then we'll pick up grain, and that'll be a full loop that we're paid in both directions with the coal and iron coming on this side going over there, and the coal and iron from this side going over there, because that totally makes so much sense. I don't know. Maybe we'll pick up grain in Irving, actually, and then we can bring that over to the processing plant, too. I don't know. There's a plan here, and I'm going to execute it in Gilbert right here, but I wanted you guys to see what I was up to, what I was doing, and we should see, hopefully, very soon, some production here, except we're getting a lot more steel delivered than we are planks, and we're not getting enough planks stored, which I know is because we're not providing enough, right? So all we need now is either a new route this way, or we start sending planks from here to there. And guess what? That's the thing I'm going to do. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.